There's a question you and I have been getting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of construction going on in the country.
Yeah.
We were able to determine price to the square footage. Working with a realtor who has done his homework, who has collected data, who has experience with the rentals and the sales is really helpful because we're able to pinpoint the exact input the developer could make that would give him the highest returns.
Who are the buyers in the market
yes.
is very dynamic.
Yes.
They are the diaspora,
Yes.
us, the citizens,
Yes.
they are foreigners.
Yes.
So the market, actually, it's a diverse market.
Yeah.
That's going on.
Yeah.
The market as well
Yeah.
doesn't reward careless buying.
It's true.
The benefit of this is that the construction period in Kenya usually takes between 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
So what that allows you is that you can be able to structure your payments across this.
Welcome again to KITO's podcast. My name is Eric Gitonga. Again, today I'm here with Collins Baliach. Collins Baliach is an associate at KITO Realtors, and I really enjoy working with Collins. And today we would like to talk to give you a guide about buying property in Kenya. Especially, there's a group of clientele that we thought would benefit greatly from this. So we thought we could talk to them, we could address them. Okay, so Collins, there's a group of clientele that we realized need some help with buying property in Kenya. They need some know what are the requirements. But before we go there, what are the current trends? Because before they buy, they need to know what's going on with our market, especially Kilimani, Kileleshwa. There are people who are wondering, is this still a right market? But I'll let you tell us a bit more about that.
You're right. Over the decade,
Yeah.
the market for Kilimani and Kileleshwa has been experiencing an increase in price. So it's a robust market.
Yes.
And I believe as diasporas and people who are around coming to Kenya, taking a look, they'll find there's construction going on.
Yes.
As much as it's going on, the market as well doesn't reward careless buying.
It's true. So they may think, what I hear you saying is, there's a question you and I have been getting.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of construction going on in the country.
Yeah.
And people are wondering, do I go to Westlands? Do I go to Syokimau? Do I go to Kilimani, Kileleshwa? For me, my response has been, it doesn't matter. You need to be very intentional and guided in this process. You need to be, it needs to be, what we're saying, is it research-based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be, you have to have a process that is well researched.
Yes.
And understand what you need.
Yes.
And what you are looking for in the market.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And if I can take our viewers back to our video we did on feasibility study, there's a feasibility study we did for a developer that really opened our eyes, and we are the realtors who be in this industry.
Yes.
And that was one of my best assignments because we were able to determine return to the square footage. So working with a realtor who has done his homework, who has collected data, who has experience with the rentals and the sales is really helpful because we're able to pinpoint the exact input the developer could make that would give him the highest returns. So even when it comes to buying apartments.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. At the same time, what I can add on top of what you have said, due to the construction going on, a lot of developers are in the market.
Yes.
At the same time, in every business, there's a risk.
Yeah.
And there's a downside to it.
Yes.
So at the same time, you may find a unit may not be suitable.
Yes.
So you cannot just rush
to just
grab it.
Yes.
You may end up seeing there's some challenges you may encounter.
Yes.
So you need actually a realtor to guide you through the process.
Yes.
So that you can identify a property that suits your needs.
I agree. The same cut of your coat cannot fit another person.
True.
So your specific needs are important.
Yeah.
I think going into the future, sometimes some people have short-term needs. We have clients who have short-term.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm in for 2-3 years and I exit. There are some who are in for the long term. There's some who are somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So we have a variety of clientele. So, but today we'll try and address them a bit generally. If they need some more guidance, they can come.
Yeah.
They can come and give you a call, email you,
Yeah.
and you can give them some more guidance, right?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, correct. Even at the current moment, we have the dynamic of who are the buyers in the market is very dynamic.
Yes.
They are the diaspora, us, the citizens, they are foreigners. So the market, actually, it's a diverse market. Yeah. So anyone can be able to invest in Kenya.
I agree. Yes. And I remember we have diaspora married to foreigners.
Yeah.
And they're wondering how they can invest together.
Yeah.
And then we have diaspora who are just all Kenyan who looking to buy, and then you have foreigners who are not married to a Kenyan, and maybe they're just single investors who are also looking to buy. So there's all these different kind of clients who are looking to invest in our country.
True.
And remember, one of the questions that arose is who are buying these properties. We have a lot of foreigners, even people from East Africa, who are buying into our market. And if you're there and you're wondering, what do I require to buy? Then this is good for you.
True.
Okay, so can we jump into who can buy?
Yeah.
And what are the requirements?
True.
Yeah.
So let's tackle the who can buy.
Yes.
As we have said now.
Yes.
Anyone can buy.
Yes.
Let me put it. Anyone can buy.
Very important. Anyone can buy.
Yeah. It's in the details now that you will start differentiating who really can. Requirements of each individual.
Yes.
So in this case, there is what we're talking about. Anyone. There is the diaspora, foreigners, and the locals.
Yes.
But the key requirements are usually having an identification.
Yes.
And this can come in the sense of, and for the citizen, it's your ID number.
Yes.
For the foreigners, you need a passport so that you can apply for something called an alien ID.
Yeah. And may I think, is that the ID that they'll use now to get a KRA pin?
Yes.
For them to be able to transact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because part of purchasing a property, you also have to have a KRA pin.
Yes.
So in the terms of a citizen, every citizen most of them who have an ID also have a KRA pin.
That's very important.
Yeah. For the case of now, for foreigner, you have to have an alien ID.
An alien ID, yes.
So that you can be able to apply
for a KRA pin. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the other requirement?
You have to have funds.
Oh, yeah, of course. And if you don't have enough funds, we can show you where to get it.
Yeah. I can give you an interesting statistics.
Yes.
Currently in the Kenyan market, unfortunately, our mortgages are expensive.
Yes.
They are priced around 14 to 16%.
Yes.
As such, most of the buyers in the market at the moment are cash buyers.
Yes.
How this is possible is due to the developers offering an off-plan price.
Yeah.
So what this means, I believe we had tackled it earlier on our previous video.
Yes.
Is that
we can just tell them so they can have an idea what when you talk about off-plan, because sometimes people ask me what is off-plan.
Yeah. So an off-plan project is whereby you're coming at an initial stage with the developer.
The early stages when the developers are still constructing.
Yeah.
Right?
Some even have not broken ground. Some they have read the renders offering you, and they'll be breaking ground in let's say in the next 2 months or so.
Yeah.
Some you'll find them you're the stage of they've already broken the ground.
Yes.
And you're coming in.
Yes.
The benefit of this is that the construction period in Kenya usually takes between 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
So what that allows you is that you can be able to structure your payments across the periods.
The period of construction. So you can pay in installments, either monthly, quarterly, or 6 months, that kind of thing.
True.
Yeah.
At the same time, the developer can take cash. If you have cash and you're willing to...
Yes.
Yeah.
Then what's the benefit of cash?
Yeah. The benefit of cash is the discount now.
Okay.
You can be able to get a better discount than, let's say, someone who is looking to pay in installments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I can say about the key thing is coming it, one of the advantages of coming early in buying an apartment is that you are able to choose a unit,
that suitable unit.
a suitable unit.
Yes.
So because based on my experience,
Yes.
what I've seen, let's say a property has been under construction for 3 years.
Yes.
On the third year,
Yes.
you'll find it's almost 90% sold.
Sold, yes.
And the 10% remaining actually
not the bbest of the units.
Yeah. When I say not the best of the unit, maybe you may find where it's facing,
the
views
is not as good.
it is not as good. You may find someone who is on the top floor of 17th floor is having a good view, but now the remaining units actually don't have a view.
Yeah.
So at times I usually advise my client the best time. Let's start early.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is this: you need funds, but if you don't have funds, you have an way out, which is buying an off-plan project, because in off-plan you can pay in installments.
Yeah.
So, but for people who have the whole cash in place, they even have more advantage because they get a discount.
True.
But there's the other advantage we're hearing is, I hear you say, is the advantage of buying early into a project is that you get to select the best unit based on certain criteria. That criteria is specific to the client, because 2 months ago, I think we got a client who just wanted not something not beyond second floor, where most of people are going for two floors and above. So, but majority of people will want certain properties and certain criteria, and if you come in late, you'll miss out.
Yeah. The next requirement is you having a realtor.
Very important.
Yeah, it's very important.
Very, very important. And tell us why.
I was about even to throw it to you, because from the brief description you have been giving people is that you have to have a well thought process.
I can tell them about it.
Yeah. You can go ahead.
So for me, I think I like to give this analogy. If I have a serious heart, if I have a heart problem, I will not go to a pharmacist. I'll not go to just a GP, general practitioner. I'll go to a doctor who deals with heart matters. A realtor is a consultant, is such a person. Monday to Saturday, and some of us even to Sunday, we are constantly interacting with the market. And when I say the market, we have buyers, sellers, agents, developers, quantity surveyors, architects, lawyers, all these people. And the rule of 10,000 hours is this. There's a rule by Thomas Edison. The more you interact, the more you do something hours and hours over and over, the more experienced you become, the better you become at it. That's the advantage of a realtor. And not just any realtor, a realtor who approaches from a point of not just to do a transaction, but a realtor who is cares about your interest and puts your interest above their own and that of either the developer or the seller of the property. So I think that's why you should go for a realtor.
True.
Very important, because then the realtor has this knowledge of what's going on. Okay, so besides just the amount of experience they have in the industry, but they can help you select the most suitable unit, because they see how the benefit it returns, either in rentals or just you living in that space. A realtor also is good in things like how you utilize the space. So how many houses we went at Collins, and he's like, hey, how do we even? There are things we can see that a tenant or a homeowner may not see in how to use a space. Sometimes I go to places and I measure the ceiling height, and guys are like, oh, so that matters. I'm like, ceiling heights are different. So we go to places and like, hey, let's measure the ceiling height. So there are many things we are able to do as realtors that on your own or without a realtor you may not be able to pick up.
Thank you for that. Even to add on it, someone can't. It's not only off-plan projects that are being sold. There's some ready unit. So we are not as much. If you have the cash, we can give you. There's some units that are already built. And there's some units that were built years ago, but they're well maintained. I think from your experience, recently you sold a 2-bedroom unit. It was well maintained, but it's such a good deal. A few flaws, but perfect.
In fact, this deal, I think it is a 14-16 million shilling deal. we were able to negotiate for our clients to 10 million.
Wow.
So it was such a bargain, and that's another thing a realtor who is dedicated to you can do for you, negotiation. So we do that for our clients.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have now tackled the identifications.
What you require, the identification, the funds, realtor.
Another requirement is you need to have a lawyer.
Oh yeah. You do.
So at this point, is your lawyer needs to handle your due diligence in terms of the documentation of the titles and so on. So you need the lawyer for your to transfer.
Yes, I agree. But what kind of lawyer is good?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Since you feel you have recently have a good experience with that, you can share with the audience. On how. Yeah.
So you and I have said you need to get a lawyer who's experienced in real estate, so a conveyancer.
Yeah.
But we realize not every conveyancer is a good conveyancer. Besides having a vast amount of experience in the industry, you need to pick someone who cares. Same thing, just like a realtor, who cares about your business. You want someone who will not hold the process, delay funds, because those are some of the complaints that lawyers taking long to transact and to close a transaction. You need a lawyer who has a history of a track record of serving the clients with speed. And I'd say with speed because early in my career, we had a lawyer who delayed the process, and the bank lawyers also were to blame. And 90 days elapsed, so now we have to keep on extending. And one of the lawyers didn't understand that. The sellers' lawyers didn't understand that, and they cancelled the transaction because the days had elapsed, but the client had already sent the money, the full balance, but they missed by a day, Collins. And they lost the 10% based on a day. You see? So could it be the ulterior motives with this lawyer? I don't know, but there is a possibility. Could they have considered that it's just a day instead of returning the balance, not the deposit of the funds, to consider this client? Why? I mean, the money is there. So you need people who can be human with you, because the challenge was not with the buyer. It was really with the bank at that time. So this became another complicated issue. So I advise my clients, if you get a lawyer who is interested in if you recruit a lawyer or get a lawyer who is interested in more than just the conveyance bit, and they look like they also want to advise you on a unit you can buy elsewhere, the chances are that they also have an interest in making commission in sales, so they're trying to serve their own interest as well. So you have to be careful of such a person. So it's not a lawyer issue; it's a character issue. So just not trying to put down my lawyer friends. It's a character issue, just the way we have real estate agents who also have character issues.
Thank you for that. And for viewers, in case if you don't have a lawyer, us as KITO, we have lawyers that we have
we can recommend.
You can recommend, and we can recommend.
And as Collins is referring, we have lawyers who have speed. They really keep their interests, the client's interests above their own, and will move with speed. They know the processes. They know the routes to tackle that other lawyers may not know, that will make the process go faster.
Thank you for that.
Wow, that was good. Thanks for throwing that back at me. What was the other one?
I think I've tackled now it's ready now to buy the unit.
Now it's just because CGT comes much later.
Much later, Thank you. I think we have covered the requirements and what is involved in buying an apartment.
Okay.
So if you're looking to buy an apartment in Nairobi, or you have some questions that you need to be handled, kindly reach out to me. My details will be at the bottom,
Yeah.
and I'll help you guide you through the process from the initial stages
Yes.
towards the end.
Yeah.
For us, we believe in going through a journey with our clients and taking them through it. So karibu.